If you have watched any of my videos, you may have seen or heard about Zephyr, the sweet senior kitty who adopted me. Zephyr is super affectionate, and pawing my legs was his way of saying he wanted up, which got very painful when his claws needed trimming. And if you have pets, you probably know how much fun it can be when it's time for trimming claws. So the first time I needed to do it, I took him to the vet, who made it seem surprisingly easy, which meant when it came time to do it again, I tried to do it myself. I got as far as one claw and then realized it wasn't happening. Totally chickened out with the screaming and the flailing. I couldn't do it. So I asked a neighbor for help. Uh, she lives downstairs, but only part of the time, so she's not often here. But she does have cats, and so she came up and helped. I was very fortunate, and we managed to get most of his claws trimmed. When it came time to do this the third time around, she was out of town and wasn't going to be back for several weeks. Fortunately, another neighbor who was also out of town had a cat sitter staying at her place. So I went over and I knocked, and I really hoped that I wasn't imposing, and I offered to pay her what I would pay to take him to the vet if she could help me. She was extremely kind and came over and helped and refused payment. And I was really, really grateful. And again, it wasn't pretty, but we managed to get the job done. The next day, I got a text from my neighbor downstairs, who is not here, who had arranged for a mobile cat groomer to come over and trim Zephyr's claws for me, and she had offered to pay for it herself. I cannot tell you how moved I was by this offer. I was happy that I was able to decline, that she didn't need to do that. But I have always had what one of my coaches calls independence disease. I've always been capable and competent and able to do everything and anything, and to pride myself in doing anything and everything. I was always the one who helped other people and never learned to ask for help myself. So asking anyone for anything is still hard for me. It's something that's taken me a really long time to be able to do. And yet, one of the things that I am reminded of over and over and over again is other people love to help. And when you don't ask, you're depriving them of that opportunity. When you need help and don't ask, you're also not giving yourself grace, and just making things harder for yourself and sometimes for other people as well, depending on the consequences of your not getting help. I know this is a little babbly, and I'll leave you to it. The point I want to get across is tip number 5 for preventing burnout: recognize and acknowledge when you need to ask for help, and then do it. The more you do it, the less painful it will become. And the more grateful you are for the help that you get, because you will get it, uh, creates a sort of virtuous cycle, if you will. The other piece of it is delegate when you can. We can't always do that. It's not always possible, but you don't have to do everything by yourself. And honestly, you can't. So help yourself and help others by asking for help when you need it, and by delegating and giving others a chance to be responsible and to take care of things. I would love your feedback, and I will see you next time. Thanks.